I'm Daniel, the past life regressionist, and it's time to begin.
Lift off and the clock has started.
This is Timeless Spirituality. Enjoy each of your time.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Timeless Spirituality. If you would like to book a regression with me to discover who, when, and where you have been throughout time, you can reach me on Instagram at The Past Life Regressionist or my website, thepastliferegressionist.com. And now, it's time to begin.
And we have Dan on the podcast today. Welcome to Humanity Feels, Dan. How are you? And yes, I'm going to call you that the whole time. So, because I know you're wondering that.
So you're a mind reader now?
Yes. Now and always.
You got that one right. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Bingo. I knew it.
And just Dan, not even my professional branding?
No. Daniel, welcome to the podcast. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm good, Yasmin. Thank you for having me.
Is that better?
Yeah, that works.
Good start.
That's not part of my professional branding, though. But my name is Daniel, so it's close enough.
Okay. So at least people will be able to know what your actual name is.
If they couldn't figure it out from Dan. Sorry, I'm sure your audience could because, well, they're your audience. So already alienating the audience here. This is great.
Strike one. Anyways, thanks for coming on. I am so excited to have you on today. And we're going to get into like some juicy stuff, past life stuff, all that stuff that everyone literally wants to know about, stuff that I always want to know about, stuff that you already know about. So I'm really excited to dive into that. But before we do that, Dan, can you please give us a little bit of who you are, why you're doing this work, and how you got to where you are today? Sure, a loaded question. I know.
First, I'd like to thank you for having me on. And Yasmin is somewhat of a friend of mine. Somewhat. That's kind of why I'm coming in here all, casual and loosey-goosey, and then having to remember, there are other people who are going to be listening to this conversation. Just wanted to state that first so I feel a little more comfortable, because I came off kind of like a jerk there at the beginning. Oh well.
I forgive you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'm very happy to be here on Humanity Feels, which I've been repeatedly telling myself is the title, because I think it's a great title.
It is. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So my name is Daniel. I am the past life regressionist. I'm also the host of a podcast called Timeless Spirituality. And as the name suggests, for Daniel, the past life regressionist, I am a past life regressionist. And what that means at a very basic level, I take people on a journey through time using the time machine that resides inside of the subconscious and superconscious mind.
Wow. Very nice. That's actually really well put.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
What was the rest of the question?
The rest of the loaded question was a little bit of your story. Like, how did you get started? What got you into this work and all that good stuff? We want to know it all. Spill the beans.
So, like Yasmin, I'm going to make an assumption here about you. I've always believed that there was more to the world than what met the eye. Was that a correct assumption?
Correct.
Okay?
Yes, that was perfect.
Cool.
That was really good.
So how that factors in, that was the way I looked at life as a child. But I grew up a product of the system, and the system teaches you that if you can't prove it, it's not real. So I latched on to that. I'm also a firm believer in science, which I still am to this day. But throughout my life, I latched on to fact and only what science could prove. Then again, I would still think about these far out concepts every so often, such as, are there aliens? I wonder if we do have past lives. Was I a fly last time? Things like that. What's out there? What's beyond what we can see? And admittedly, I may have been that guy who even thought when I looked at the stars, wow, it's so big. It makes you feel so insignificant. Although now I'm at a point when I look at the stars, I'm thinking, okay, in light years, they're that far. But does that only take into account what we can see? What about the space in between? What about the possibility of the dimensions that occupy the same space? And then what happens if those dimensions are actually a real thing? Can we access those dimensions and somehow shoot ourselves off into those stars and reach them much quicker than, say, the speed of light? So that's what past life regression has done for me, or at least when I allowed myself to think about these things more. It kind of opened up my world to more possibilities. What really brought me around to it was right before my 22nd birthday, I came down with an autoimmune disorder, which just really rocked my world. And as I said, I was a firm believer in science, still am. But with that firm belief in science, I had a firm belief in Western medicine. So I placed my faith in Western medicine. You know, you go to the doctors and they say, we're going to fix you. We're going to do this for you and we're going to fix you. And you're going to come back here in 7 weeks and you're going to be good. Well, something must have happened because I didn't get better when that would happen.
Disappointing.
And after years of this, I finally hit this point where I had to allow myself to open myself up to the possibility of allowing myself to explore alternative treatments. And at this time, it was also my late 20s, at the time of the Saturn return. And this predates it just a little bit. But once I opened myself up to explore these alternative treatments, things just started to happen. I started to notice these things that just felt, I don't want to say divinely orchestrated, but more than a mere coincidence. And I now have that terminology to be synchronicities.
Right.
And with that came past life regression. It just dropped into my lap. And I gave it a try a couple months later. Now, when I was researching past life regression beforehand, it talked about, the research would talk about how diseases could be cured using the process. Ailments can be cured, physical, mental, all these things. Now, I need to also say, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a past life regressionist. So these things that I'm saying, I'm not a doctor.
Right.
All right. I am not a doctor. So with the things that I read, I went in with the expectation that I was going to be healed.
Okay.
I actually thought that that was what was going to happen. Now, I wasn't healed, but the experience was so profound for me that I walked out a believer in past lives. And this is where I like to make the differentiation between belief and knowing.
Right.
And that was very eloquently taught to me by my astrology teacher, Jim Scher, a few years after my past life regression. I didn't know that past lives were real,
Right.
but I believe that they're real. And that changed my worldview right there. That belief was so strong that everything shifted. So since I believed in past lives, by default, I believed in future lives. So I said to myself, it could be better or it could be worse next time. These are the cards you've been dealt this time around. So how are you going to play them? So I no longer became a victim of my circumstances. I saw me when I looked in the mirror instead of seeing the sick guy, because that's all I saw before. I identified with my illness way too much.
Wow.
And that's when the shift started to happen for me, was just not treating life that way. And then I was fascinated with the process. I got certified a year later. And I've been a practitioner since 2016.
Wow, that was so good. Also, it's just the belief aspect, the fact that you were able to kind of break those limiting beliefs of keeping yourself in that box of I'm just a fact kind of guy, like I'm a science kind of guy, but also allowing yourself to be like, I could do both. I could be somewhere in the middle. You know, it's not, black or white, which life isn't black or white. You know, there's a gray area. So finding that gray area is super important. And it aided you in your healing process. So, I mean, I love that. And I feel like that requires a lot of strength to do that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And one more thing I want to touch on for that is knowing you and how you're all about the shadow work and, go inside, Dan. Go inside. Have a good cry, Dan.
Look inward.
Even though I had that expectation that I was going to walk out of there healed.
Yeah.
That would have been an injustice if I walked out of there healed.
Right.
Because it would have been too easy.
Absolutely.
And while there's still a part of me that wishes I would have walked out of there healed. Because admittedly, I still do struggle with those things a bit, not to the extent that I used to.
Totally.
But I learned so much about myself in the process, and the quick fix wouldn't have been enough. So I'm an advocate of doing the deep work and not just looking for the quick fix. So
totally.
No, because my good friend Yasmin, or kind of friend, what did we settle on?
Somewhat a friend.
Somewhat of a friend. I've talked to her a couple times. Yeah.
Somewhat.
Just advocate. Dan, just go inside, Dan. And
Just
I didn't even know Yasmin at the time.
Just keep going.
But I was already hearing her voice. Dan, I'm like, who the hell is this person calling me Dan?
And then I walk in and I'm like, it's me. Hi.
And who the hell are you?
Oh my gosh. The shadow worker.
You know.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, I love that. And it's like, with past life regression and with these incredible tools that exist for our betterment and our evolution, I think it's important to make note that, like, it's not a quick and easy fix, and it's not meant to be. We're supposed to be doing the inner work while also using these tools. That's the beauty of it. It's complementary to the work, to the shadow work, to looking inward, to figuring out like who you're here to be, your identity, what you're here to do, all that stuff, So I find that to be super important with the work that you do as well. And that you see it from a more grounded perspective. You do past life regression from that perspective. And I know that to be true because I've done the session with you, so for my audience listening, it's like, I'm speaking from experience with working with Daniel. Is I've had a session with him and it was very grounded. And it wasn't this like woo-woo experience where you're just like kind of floating and you have no idea what's going on. It was more of an experience of like, you are in control of this lifetime, of the stuff that happens to you in this lifetime. And while you can look at your past lives and learn and get something from that, ultimately, you're always in the driver's seat and you're always in power. So that's what I got from the session that I did with you. And that's what I always get from your teachings and like the things that you share and the things that you talk about. So I just wanted to like get that in there before we get into the nitty gritty of what is past life regression.
I'm really glad to hear you got a lot out of the second session as well.
That's right. We did do two, but the first one was
but
like,
I guess you didn't get much out of the second one.
The first one was like mind-blowing. I was also in the midst of my dark night. So that was wild. That was like the week of like everything falling in my life. That's probably why I remember it so clearly. After that, I just came in like a wrecking ball. Literally. And then I just numbed myself after that. So like that session was like the mind-blowing one, the one that I was like, oh my God, like I literally got so much gold from this. And also I just got more like, permission to step into my power. And like, I know that's one of the things that I'm here to learn in this lifetime, it's learning how to do that from a grounded perspective as well, from a place of like healthy ego integration. So, that's what I'm learning to do. And I think it's so great to, again, have these tools and have you or people like you show us that and help guide us. No one has the answers for us, but they can at least help guide us. So that's you. That's where you come in, Dan. So I'm clapping.
Thank you, Yasmin.
You're so welcome. But anyways, let's get into like the nitty gritty of what does a typical past life regression session look like? What are your rules? How do you work with a client? And break it down for us. Give us all the details.
Okay, first and foremost, no expectations.
That's a good one.
Most important thing.
That's a good one.
No expectations whatsoever.
Yeah.
What I always tell everyone is whatever you think is going to happen right now, I can promise you it's not going to be that. However you think this is going to happen, I can promise you it's not going to be the way you think it's going to be.
This is true. This is very true. I remember that with my own. I was like expecting something. I'm like, nope. Nope. This was mind-blowing. Nope. I love that. That's great. That's really great.
That's most important. There's really nothing else to say. It's just, no, I'm just kidding. But no, that truly is the most important thing, is no expectations.
Right.
So the way a session works, first I send you a pre-session questionnaire, which is used to ask questions of your higher self. And that comes a little later in the session. So we'll get there about 37 seconds,
Right.
maybe a little longer. Yeah. So I do ask for your birth chart information ahead of time because I do know astrology. Now, that's something that I've incorporated into my practice. It's not something that is a part of the modality that I'm certified in, or both of them, because I'm certified in one called QHHT, which is quantum healing hypnosis technique, and another one called BQH, which is beyond quantum healing. The reason that I ask for your birth chart information is because it can show the things that you may not be aware of. Like, think of conventional therapy. Your therapist can only help you to the extent of what you're aware of. If you're not able to bring something up, then they can't help you.
That's a good point.
That allows me to know the right questions to ask, because maybe there's something that I'm able to see that you're not aware of.
Right.
And then it's that moment of, oh, yeah, I do see that. Or no, that's not me, which can totally be the case.
Totally.
So I look at the chart ahead of time. And if I feel that it's necessary, I'll bring it up during the pre-session. But what the pre-session consists of is your life story.
Yeah.
We go from birth until today, because it is so important for me to understand who you are today in order to spot the patterns when they come up in a past life.
Totally.
What I didn't mention before also is the difference between a past life reading and a past life regression.
Okay.
Now, a past life reading is when someone tells you what you were. Like, Yasmin, you were a
chicken. A chicken wing. I don't even want to know. I really don't even want to know what you're going to say. I'm scared.
There's an expression I heard this past weekend. I don't know why this is one that popped up. That you like, yes. I'm only saying this because it's you. If this was anyone else's podcast, I would never say this. Yasmin, you were a foolish harlot back in 1437.
Terrible.
Or you were a gallows cleaner in 1732. So that would be a past life.
That's so specific too.
Yeah.
Thanks for the example.
I got to think of one more because that was only two. You got to go. It feels like an unresolved musical note there. And then in 1492.
Think of something good. Better be something good. If it's the third one, it better be something good.
I was going to be way too far with that.
It's going to be something so simple.
Oh, okay. In the 1700s, in the late 1700s, we won't be super specific here. You were Paul Revere.
I resonate with that.
Or if we're going to get specific, would that have been 1776 or would that have been right before? I should know this, even though I'll back myself into that corner. I know the year that the Declaration of Independence was signed was 1776.
Yeah.
But when was Paul Revere's ride? Okay, well, that's for another day. So anyways, we did those three. Hope you're okay with those examples. However, I'm not a past life reader.
Right.
So maybe Yasmin was those things. I don't know. Maybe, but
possibly.
Yeah, so that's what a past life reader does, is they tell you what you were.
Right.
Whereas with a past life regression, it's using hypnosis to put you in a space where you can experience it for yourself. I think that there is value in getting a past life reading.
Right.
Because maybe the person is accurate with what they're saying to you. But I think that there's something so much more profound about experiencing it for yourself. Because at no point am I ever saying to you, you were this. This is the room you're standing in. This is what you're going to do.
Right.
It's you relaying that back to me. So as you're having the experience, you are telling me what you're experiencing and seeing.
Totally.
And then based off of what you're saying, that's when I say, okay, let's explore here a little bit more, go over here. So that's why it's important for me to know your life story in the here and now, because I need to understand those patterns if they pop up in a past life. Totally. There's also just something so cool about sitting down with someone and just telling them your whole life story, because it really is.
It's healing. It's really healing.
And you're already going back in time at that point, and you may not even be aware of it.
Right. Right.
So that's the beginning part of the pre-session. And the second part is when we go over the pre-session questionnaire. And as I said, those are the questions for your higher self. Now, then the question becomes, what is the higher self?
Yeah.
Is the higher self the 7-foot version of you, or is it something that resides outside of what we can see?
Okay.
I have an idea of what I think it is, but I don't know for sure.
Right.
But my idea of the higher self is it's something that knows everything about you. I believe it's something that resides in a different space and time, or in a space that eclipses space and time.
Okay.
And it knows everything about you in this life and everything about you from your previous incarnations and maybe even your future incarnations. Because then we're talking about the nature of time. And it's time linear. I don't think it is, but all I can register is time in a linear scale because
totally.
Well, I'm human.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. We're living here now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, like that flesh on my arm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that extra belly fat from all the cookies I had this weekend. It's the human experience and all that Taurus in me.
Exactly.
Thinking about those cookies.
You're enjoying all the food
before we recorded today.
All the comfort food.
Mm-hmm. I had a pizza last weekend too.
Yeah, my South Node gets it.
I have to give a shout out to my buddy Jacob, even though I know he's not going to be listening to this podcast.
Jacob, let's go.
Who I heard use the term foolish harlot.
Now you have to send this episode to him.
Yeah.
And the way I just screamed his name, so don't make me look like a fool and send this to him.
Well, then in that case, I'm not going to. But now, so I feel like I'm digging myself into a deeper hole. The way that the foolish harlot was used was in a very, very meaningful and loving way.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes it better.
He called me a foolish harlot.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. I thought it was endearing.
That's really affectionate.
Yeah. And then my next question was, how did you know? That was one of my past lives. And then he looked at me and what the hell are you talking about? And then we just had a staring competition on a boat.
And that was the end of that conversation.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways.
Amazing.
Where were we? Oh yeah. Past life regression.
Yeah.
3D world. Cookies.
Yes.
So after we've done the pre-session, we will then go into the regression part of the session.
Okay.
Which is where you will have the experience of your past life. Now, it comes in different ways. It may come through visuals. It may come through a feeling. It may come through a hearing, or it may just come through a knowing. Like you have this deep knowing.
Okay.
And also the differentiation between knowing and know. You know, there's when you have that feeling of a knowing.
Yeah.
It's okay to use the expression there.
Yeah, totally.
And that will last for about 45 minutes to an hour. And then is when we call your higher self in. And that's where we get to ask the questions that you sent in with your pre-session questionnaire. And you get to ask anything you want. The sky is the limit with that one. Yeah. You can ask, why do I have this relationship dynamic with this person? Why do I have an intolerance to gluten?
Right.
Why did my 3rd grade teacher treat me like garbage?
Right.
You can ask anything you want. Now, even though you can ask anything you want, you may not get the answers for maybe not for everything. But if that's the case, your higher self will tell you why it's not time for you to know that.
Yeah.
Or it's not
necessary.
Exactly.
Right.
But here's the kicker. I'm still not telling you anything. Everything is coming from you.
Right.
So when those words come out of your mouth, you understand that, okay, this is coming from someplace. And I do understand, even though I wanted that explanation, I understand why it's not what I needed.
Right.
And I think that's what's also really important to point out about a past life regression. You're not going to get what you want.
That's a really good point.
You'll get what you need.
Yeah.
So when looking for a practitioner, because I've done a very good job painting myself out to be someone who's competent and capable and not a jackass on my friend Yasmin's podcast, because she has this way of bringing this side of me out.
The jackass side,
where I can promise you I'm not like this in a session, but
he's really not.
She's the devil on my shoulder. And she reminds me of that all the time because she sends me the devil emoji and say, Dan, I'm the devil on your shoulder, right?
This is Yasmin. So true. Guilty.
So if this is an experience that feels something that you want to do, and I understand if I may not be the right person for you,
Right.
Keep an eye out for that when you're looking for practitioners. Keep an eye out for the ones who are going to tell you that they will give you what you want. Because that's not always the best practitioner to work with. If it feels right, it's a different story.
Right.
But just keep an eye on that and use your discernment, even though it may play to that side of you that seems more excited by that.
Yeah.
Just be careful.
Check in. Yeah. That's, I was gonna add to that of like, the discernment of making sure that you know what you're working with and who you're working with. And if it feels right, then go for it. And if not, then sit on it for a bit and see if there's other people that might resonate more with you, that might hold the space that you need in the moment. So I think that's like super important, especially in today's day and age with like everyone trying to, kind of shove their services in your face. And it might feel overwhelming because there's so much out there, and there's so many different types of people to work with. So being careful and using your discernment is important.
I agree. I have nothing else to add to that.
Oh,
I mean, we could go off on a tangent with that one.
I was like, well, that would be like 3 hours. So
I have nothing to add to that one unless you want to go there. God, did I really bring up the foolish harlot thing? That was a stupid thing for me to say.
Why does that always happen? You bring it up and then you're like, damn it, why'd I do that? Devil on your shoulder is making you feel bad.
Yeah. Are you?
You're like, this is your fault.
This is your fault.
It's your fault.
I know you didn't force me to do it, but you brought it out of me. The second you start talking, Dan, I'm like, oh, I think she's implanted some kind of mind control into me. Like when I hear Dan, it's, oh, here it is. Here's that side of you that's going to come out. Dan, you having a good day?
Some MK Ultra shit.
You would be the best plan in the world for that one because you're out there talking about it and no one would suspect you. You're what? You're about 4'7".
4'7".
No one
would think anything.
No
How
one
would they know?
An MK Ultra agent. No
How
one would ever
they know?
suspect that.
How would they know? They'd never know. That voiceover on the Instagram reels. How would they know? They'll never know. No, am I making a fool of myself? Okay, so anyways.
It's fun, isn't it?
I was like, please know what I'm talking about. And you're like, can't help you with that one.
Well, you know what I do with the trend videos.
That's
or the one I sent you where I was doing my laundry.
Yeah.
When the trend was to do the hand jive or whatever that dance was. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to do that. Just going to send Yasmin a video of me doing my laundry with that in the background.
How can I forget that one? That was gold. That was pure gold.
It was pretty good.
So good, Dan. Before I forget.
Oh, there it is. There was that word again. Dan.
MK Ultra. Here we go.
Okay, I'm gonna sound myself out of it. Cottage cheese. Okay, we're good.
Okay, good. Okay, we're good. What are some things that you've learned from some of your past lives? And I don't want to hear nothing. Give me some things that you've learned from your past lives.
Can you be a little more specific?
Yeah, like what are some wounds? And again, if you're comfortable sharing this, obviously no pressure, but what are some wounds that you feel might have come up, or some patterns, that's a better word, some patterns that are coming up in this lifetime that you feel are from previous lifetimes?
Let's go with the heart wounds for that one.
Okay.
I was a spiritual bypasser for a while. When I first came around to past life regression, I got swept up in, a lot of the, oh, wow, there's this whole world that I was never aware of. And I was in a place of such distrust of everything I'd ever been taught that I still had to find my way back to the middle. Now, I didn't go to the extreme of ever vocalizing these things.
Right.
So I don't want to paint that picture. I was someone who internalized these things. But why I bring this up is because everything became a matter of purpose for me.
Right.
Everything was about purpose. I felt that I was here to, to help rise the collective consciousness into a new earth. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
And then one morning we would wake up
on a new earth.
On a new earth.
Like you're like, this is so painful to admit.
Again, I wasn't out there talking about this, but this is what I actually believed.
Right. Yeah.
What that did to me was it gave me the permission to spiritually bypass what I was feeling or things that I needed to address.
Right.
And one of those was my heart. Because on a subconscious level, there was something so painful about what literally felt like 1,000 lifetimes of a broken heart. And so what I did was I convinced myself that I was not here for love. I quite literally convinced myself of that.
Wow.
And that anything that took me away from purpose was a waste of time.
Interesting.
I refused to look at a lot of things.
Yeah.
Then I started taking an astrology course. At this point, it was almost 6 years ago.
Okay.
In a little while into the course, my teacher had brought up an aspect in the chart and saying, here's what this aspect will make you feel. And when I saw it through the chart,
what was the aspect?
I mean, it had to do with my Saturn opposing my Venus.
Okay.
My Venus conjunct Chiron. Not the easiest placements to have when it comes to matters.
Chiron and Saturn. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So when I saw it in a more tangible sense, I started to snap myself out of that because I started to realize maybe there are reasons why I feel this way.
Totally.
And that's what really started to take me back from the edge.
Okay.
Of everything's about purpose. Everything's about this, wake up in a new earth tomorrow morning. Because when I heard about that energy report, that's what they talked about. They said it was going to happen on July 22nd. But then when it didn't happen on July 22nd, they said, this is why it didn't happen on July 22nd. But don't worry, because it's going to happen on August 4th. And when it didn't happen on August 4th, they gave another reason that sounded like bullshit, but I wanted to believe them. So I did. And then they said it was going to happen on September 17th. And then magically, there was this other reason why they gave when they said I wasn't wrong when I said it was going to be on October 4th because this happened. This energy particle came in and
kept going and going. Yeah.
So I started to step back from the edge and realize that I was fooling myself. At least I'm not one of those people out there fooling people.
Right. It's true.
Now, the door that opened for me was to then start exploring that in past lives. Now,
Got it.
I bring that up because I truly believe you will never be shown anything you can't handle.
Yeah.
And had I been shown matters of the heart before I started to allow myself to go there, I wouldn't have put much into it because I wouldn't have believed it.
Yeah. Right. Totally.
I'd be like, this is a figment of my imagination. No, because I'm not here for that. So why am I being shown? No, something's trying to trick me. So I started to see lives where there was just horrific heartbreak and stuff that's very hard to see and hard to experience. And again, I just need to reiterate and emphasize, I only saw that because I believe I was ready to see that. And I was, because it didn't affect my life.
Right.
It wasn't too much for me to handle. And then I just started to get it a little more that, okay, this is what I'm dealing with here.
Right.
This is why for Yasmin and Dan, we talk about the mystery, and we'll leave that one vague right now. That's the mystery.
Right.
The mystery is the lessons.
Yeah.
And why the mystery is in place.
Right. Absolutely.
And it helped me understand that that's what I was working with there.
Wow. Yeah.
Which didn't make it any easier necessarily.
No.
Because it was still insurmountable.
Right.
But because of my belief in soul growth, I viewed it through the lens of okay, I need to take care of this now. Because if I don't, then I'm just kicking the can down the road to a future incarnation. And I don't want to do that. why not just take care of it now? Even if it hurts,
Right.
it's going to be hard.
Totally.
And I have to watch everyone else pass me by. It's okay, because I'm
Yeah.
going to grow in the process of allowing myself to get burned.
Totally.
So
Totally.
that's one of the things that my past lives have taught. Was that the question? What have I
Yeah.
learned?
Yeah, that was a good one.
About wounds or something, right?
Yeah, that one. I mean, that's great, because I feel like a lot of us can relate to that, like the wound that we have with love and relationships and attachment to other humans. It's like that's something that, I mean, obviously I love talking about that, and it's something I've dealt with myself. So it's like I get it. It's this like there's this like barrier, this wall that comes up every time, and it's like, why does this always happen? Why do I fall into similar patterns in love or relationship? So I mean, I love that you were able to look at that in the face. And again, it doesn't necessarily fix anything, right? Because it's not what it's supposed to do, but it does give you that self-awareness to be able to move forward, with more strength, more resilience, with at least knowing that this is part of my story. And yeah, they're my scars, and like, it is what it is. We all have scars, we all have stories that, and we all have things that we're here to experience. So yeah, it takes a lot of strength to be able to admit that and keep moving forward, and not bury your head in the sand, which a lot of people do. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. A lot of people choose to do that because it is painful to look at this stuff. And I get that. I understand. But it's like you said, it's worth it now to look at it now and figure it out than down the road when it's probably going to be more painful.
I'm really glad you brought a lot of that up, because I think that's also what's really important with past life regression. It's about the information that you presented with.
Yeah.
And just as you said, I could have buried my head in the sand, which even looking at the chart, you can shoot, like, a lot of the astrologers out there, and maybe not the bona fide ones, but the ones in Instagram world, the fear mongers, or the ones who are going to make you just fear your chart. I could look at those aspects and they could scare the shit out of me.
Like, you have 12th house placements. Ooh, I don't know why. That's always a fear thing. The 12th house. Because
when I look at
the
that,
house of confinement.
I'm thinking, oh man, this is someone who has a lot of opportunity to grow.
Yeah, for sure.
But just as you said, it's with the burying of the head in the sand. I had that opportunity to make the choice to bury my head in the sand or say no. That's the choice that we have. I think that's where the free will comes in the equation. For the natal chart, I do believe it is a blueprint, and it's not dictating our lives, but I do think it sets into motion the events that we will have to encounter in life. And I do believe that those placements are largely there as a result of what you've done in past lives. Now, I don't believe every placement is there from past life. I believe that sometimes you're just throwing a bone. But you have a choice. You have a choice of how you're going to approach it and what you're going to do. And another one to bring up about wounds was my fear of expression.
Okay. Yeah.
A couple of years ago, I couldn't have been here on this podcast with you. I mean, I could have, but not talking about the things we're talking about. I couldn't have gone to the place of the wounds because there was something scary about it. There was something scary about being vulnerable. It was scary. There was this weird feeling of, if I'm going to be vulnerable, I feel like I'm going to be killed for it. If I go out there and talk about these things, I feel like I'm going to be killed for it, which may have also worked to my benefit with the whole New Earth thing. Now, also with the New Earth, I'm not saying that it's not a real thing and that it can't happen.
Right.
But what I believe that it is it's a different perspective. It's about viewing the world through a new lens and quite
mindset.
Literally waking up in a new world through a new lens, but not a physical new world.
Yes.
Where the sky is gold.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely.
And you're painting with all the colors of the wind.
Wouldn't that be nice? But no,
it would.
That's not going to happen. Agreed.
So that may have been my saving grace there, is that I was afraid that if I spoke out about those things, I was going to be killed for it.
Right. Absolutely.
So that's something else I've learned through past life regression. I believe that I've been killed for speaking out. Now, I say believe because I still can't prove it.
Of course.
I don't know it to be a fact.
Right.
Which is the way that I approach it. Doesn't mean it's the way you need to approach it, but I believe that's the smart way to approach it. Because you're not treating it as an absolute.
Absolutely.
Because I think when you do, you start getting yourself into trouble.
Right. Right.
So I started to understand that, okay, maybe this fear of self-expression has its roots in the past life. Now that means that there's only one way to combat that. I got to start speaking out.
Yeah.
And what's been really interesting is once I did that, I feel there is a story that I've shared with Yasmin that I won't share right now, but where there was one person massively unhinged who was sending me a lot of stuff. And I feel like I should be more specific, because then I feel if one of the other people who sent me things who have been massively unhinged,
he's going to think that,
they're going to think I'm talking about them. So just know, if you're massively unhinged and you sent me crazy things, I'm not talking about you right now. Please don't hurt me.
Please don't kill me.
Please don't kill me. Please. I'm just trying to do the right thing. But if you do, if you come at me, I'm kidding.
You're getting all feisty on my podcast.
That's what I should have done in the past life. See, this is the side that Yasmin brings out of me. I'm usually very professional. I'm usually very restrained. Although I may drop 4-letter words from here, every time and stuff.
Yeah, every once in a while.
Doing a really good job, Dan, backing yourself into that corner. Just keep digging that hole for yourself, Dan. Just keep digging that hole.
Digging it deeper and deeper.
As I was saying, multiple of those people who have sent me the massively unhinged things, when I get stuff like that, there's a fear that creeps into me of, if I wasn't out there speaking and being vocal about these things that have absolutely nothing to do with this person,
right,
then I wouldn't have landed on the radar. Now, these aren't people who are against what I'm saying.
Right.
These are people who just send me weird things for whatever reason. They're just, unhinged
totally.
Stuff. But there's a feeling that comes up in me of, oh, they're just showing up in a new role this time. This is someone who shut me up in a past life, and I'm not going to let them do it. They're not coming at me directly in that kind of way. But to me, it's almost scarier.
You can feel it. You can, on a deep level. Yeah.
When they're coming out of the shadows, because I'm putting myself out there.
Right.
And that feeling of this feels like it's happened before. Oh, okay, now we're going to do something about it. We're not going to let it bring us down this time.
Right.
So that's another wound, is the self-expression.
Wow.
And again, it's a matter of, what choice was I going to make? Was I going to make the choice to play it safe and say, well, I got my ass killed in at least one past life. I don't want that to happen again. So I'm going to play it safe. And I'm not going to go out there and talk about these things that I want to talk about, because I don't want to be killed. Or was I going to say, you know what? Fuck them. You motherfuckers took me down in a past life. I'll fucking show you. Well, I don't say that out loud. That's what I think.
It's just happening in your head.
Just have at it. Come on. Have at it.
You're right, though.
How you like me now? My name's Dan.
I'm not Daniel anymore, okay?
Daniel. It's Dan. Get it straight.
Dan to the Dan, okay?
You may be able to take on Daniel, but you can't take on Dan.
It's my alter ego. I'm Dan.
I'm Dan.
I love it. But you're right, though. It's like, it really is about, like, are you going to take the reins in this lifetime? Or are you going to play it small and just suppress what you really want to do? And I went on a rant the other day, I know you watched it on Instagram, about how people literally suppress their gifts and their talents because of the fear of what others are going to say or think. When you start showing up and you start expressing yourself and being authentic and, standing in your power, it's really scary. Of course, especially if you had past life wounds, and like stuff that holds you back from being that person. But are you really going to live a life like that? Like, you're going to really live a life of misery, because you'll feel that if you don't step into your power. You'll start feeling it as time goes on. You'll feel lifeless. You'll feel dull. Like, life won't feel colorful. Like, is that really what you want? So it's important to ask yourself that when you're doing a past life regression, or when you're like kind of learning about what your wounds are, what you're here to learn in this lifetime, and like, again, taking the reins and standing in that power that you've always wanted to stand in and couldn't.
Yeah, I'm glad we're talking about the wounds, but I'm also feeling compelled to bring up some of the beautiful things that can happen.
Yeah, please
And
do.
the one that's coming up for me right now is skin color.
Wow.
I think what's beautiful about that is if you see yourself living in another body with a different skin color, it really shows you that you get to live many different lives and have different experiences. Now, I think the most profound thing at the center of that is it's the ultimate golden rule.
Yeah.
Treat others the way you would want to be treated.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't been in their shoes at some point in this life, then odds are you'll be in their shoes at some point in a different life. So be good to people.
Yeah.
Treat everyone with kindness and respect.
Right.
And that doesn't mean just be a people pleaser.
No, of course
I don't want to
not.
give anyone permission to do that.
Yeah. Set your boundaries, know when to step away, but do it with kindness,
Your experience right now is unique.
Right.
The life that you're living right now, you'll never get a chance to live in your life as Yasmin.
Totally.
And I'll never get to be Dan again.
Right.
At least in this form.
Totally. This is our meat suit in this lifetime.
Really? You had to bring up meat?
Suit?
Now you
meat.
Yeah, but meat is food. You got me thinking about steak now. You couldn't just said, oh, this is
our outfit.
Roll, yeah, our outfit would have worked.
That was so basic though. It's like it's the meat suit. Like it's our 3D meat suit.
You had to bring 3D into it?
I'm just making it worse.
Because for some reason, when you bring up 3D, I'm thinking of licorice. I don't know why, but
no, you don't think about 5D?
No, I don't think about that with licorice.
Oh my God. So good. So good. Man, what a conversation. But I love that. You're right. It helps you have more compassion for yourself, for others. It reminds you of what's really important too.
And before I get too poetic with you, after my first past life regression, now I didn't only think about purpose. I mean, my view on things shifted a little bit.
Okay.
And I think a lot of that had to do with frustration. Things that used to frustrate me no longer frustrated me. A good example could be if someone is going slow in front of you at the grocery store, or someone, let's just say it for that one,
right? Where
they're just being stupid. Previously, I would have felt that little burning in my solar plexus of it's really frustrating me. But now I just say to myself, well, at least I'm not a fucking idiot this time around. At least I'm not a dumbass.
Right.
They're just here to learn what it means to live life as a dumbass.
That's a good way to put it.
There's this new layer of compassion.
Yeah.
Because I now have an appreciation for my circumstances more that goes just beyond the material necessities.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a good way of looking at it. I like to think.
No, it is a good.
At least I'm not a dumbass.
At least I'm not here to learn that. No, I didn't. That's a good one.
That was a good curveball, huh?
Great way to end it. Like with a
bang. I'm not a fucking idiot.
So good, Dan. Wow, thank you for sharing, all of that with us, for being vulnerable, for expressing yourself, for just facing parts of yourself, and not just like being someone who guides others through this process, but also like guiding yourself, and like leading from a place of integrity and stuff. I think ultimately that's the goal when we're like in a place of leadership or helping other people help change and evolve and look at their stuff. It's being able to do that ourselves so we can help other people actually embody that. So yeah, just wanted to end it on that note.
No, I see what you did there. You lumped yourself into that category at the end.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do. It's like, okay, Dan, I'm gonna put you on a little pedestal right now, but what I'm really gonna be doing is patting my own back. I'll make it look like it's all about you. So like, I'm on to you, Yaz. I'm on to you.
The double pat, like I'm patting me, but I'm patting you, all,
So that's my way of saying everyone who listens to Humanity Feels, keep an eye on that. You're gonna see it. That's what Yasmin does. She thinks she's clever, but she better match with Dan, because he's gonna call her ass out. So I'm gonna talk about her like she's not here right now.
The The devil on the shoulder is just, it only gets worse.
Mm-hmm. And
Doesn't
then
get
when she
better.
feels like she's losing control of that because, oh, everyone's on to her now, she's like, God damn it, Dan.
Like, damn it.
Damn it, Dan.
I gotta
Why'd
find,
you have to go
I
and
gotta
say
find
that?
new tactics now. Like now I have to like figure something else out.
But I will, because I'm a sneaky little bastard. No,
Oh my
in all
God.
seriousness, though, you have an amazing. Yasmin, no, I'm not talking to you right now. I'm talking to your audience. You have an amazing host, and I do know Yasmin a little bit on a deeper level, and she is as she comes across. She's not putting on a show. She is this is her. This is her. She's a pain in the ass, but it's her.
What you see is what you get.
But I just want to shine a light on her authenticity as well, because I think that that's really important in this space. This is Yasmin, but she is also someone who's growing every step along the way and letting you guys see her on that journey, which I applaud you for that, because for as vulnerable as I can be, you're even airing your shit more than I am.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Like, it's hard to do that.
Like when I listen to your show and you get the in the background.
Oh, the little jingle.
Like,
Don't you
damn,
love
she's
that?
really going there. Not with the jingle, but what's she saying? Hey guys, it's Yasmin here. Welcome to a new episode of Humanity Feels.
I was like, are you like the jingle? It's like, no, not that.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey guys. Like when she do you ever see The Warriors?
No.
Okay, you should check that movie out. Because there's this woman who's a disc jockey in it. The movie came out in 1979, kind of with your part of the world too.
Yeah.
It was a Coney Island thing. You're kind of near
really?
Coney Island, right?
Yeah, I am. I'm not far.
You should watch
Coney
The
Island.
Warriors.
Wow. So what happened? What's the reference?
Well, there was this disc jockey who would come on every so often and say, the Warriors were just spotted out. I just check the movie out. With your intro, you got that voice a little bit, this little smooth.
Ooh, like smooth jazz.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's very authentic to swing it back around full circle to the compliment that I was giving you when you were trying to give yourself a compliment beforehand. Okay. In all seriousness,
Okay,
like
I'll
really,
receive. Yeah.
So my name is Daniel, the past life regressionist. Yasmin brings this side out of me. I'm massively embarrassed that I put on this display because I'm 36 years old and I should know better, but I don't, because this is what she does. However, if you want to listen to my podcast and get a real feel for who I am, don't listen to the episodes I did with Yasmin, because it won't help. Because she still brings that side of me out, even on my own show.
I think it's worse, honestly. It's worse on yours. Bad idea.
Yeah.
He has a lot of great episodes on there, guys. So yeah, go check
None of
them
which
out.
she's listened to. I
have some of my favorites. I have some of my favorites.
Okay, well, sure.
Not including mine. Don't even go there, because I know you're gonna say something.
I wasn't even thinking that, but I don't know why I didn't think that. So yeah, in all seriousness, though, I know I've said it like 15 times. I love talking to Yasmin. She's amazing. She brings out this side of me. But if you guys would like to do a session with me, I do show up much different.
Yes, he is very different, guys.
There's a much different side that shows up, and I will keep it as light as you want, or I will go to the depths of hell with you if that's what you need.
Depth of hell.
Or, I take that back. I will keep it light. I will keep it light for you if that's what you need. Not what you want, but what you need. Because still, that's what a past life regression in my eyes is. It's what you need and not what you want.
Totally. Ooh, that's so good. That is so good. Dan, thank you so much. Where can people find you? You didn't share your Instagram and all that stuff.
You can find me on this episode of Humanity Feels.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
You can reach me on Instagram at the Past Life Regressionist. My website is thepastliferegressionist.com. And my podcast is called Timeless Spirituality.
Yes, I'll add all of it to the show notes so everyone can just click. Yes,
you will?
really.
You would do that for me?
You do that for me? Of course, obviously.
I'm so touched.
You're so
That's
welcome.
right, Dan. I'm going to do it for you. Because I also just roped you in and you don't even know it yet. I've
You're like
orchestrated
the
this whole
devil.
thing. It's going to play itself out in 10 years. And when it does,
The devil is back.
I planned this, Dan. I planned this. But thank you so much for having me here. It's always fun talking to you.
Yeah, it's always fun exploring and just learning new things. And I just appreciate your time and your energy and your wisdom with all the things that you've learned and all the things that you continue to learn. So thanks again, Dan, for coming on. And we'll talk again soon.
Was this your favorite interview on Humanity Feels?
Duh.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think you're just saying it.
I think
to
you're
please me right now.
a somewhat friend.
Okay, that's cool. Well, thank you for having me on. And I can't wait to have you on mine again.
Love it. Love it. Bye, Dan.
Bye, Yasmin.
Bye.
Fellow time travelers, your journey through time awaits you. Just want to thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. And if you're interested in discovering who, when, and where you have been throughout time, and you'd like to book a sesh with me, just go ahead and send me a message on Instagram at The Past Life Regressionist, or you can reach me through my website, yourpastliferegressionist.com.